You are now tuned into Difficult People Chronicles. I'm SF Johnnie, Seriously Focused Johnnie, and today's episode is called The Message God's Timing versus Our Situation. I know a lot of people, including myself, one of the reasons I know that I'm ready to give up is because my situation that God said does not pan out in time, which is my time. Before you judge me, I can tell you that I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people who feel the same. How do I know? I see it when it comes to spiritual warfare. I meet people where God will tell a person the same message He gave me. What to do, list B after A, and then pray to win their spiritual battle. And they will do it. And because they do not see immediate results, they ready to just be like, whatever. Then when they see it, like a day later, they are moved. Well, the same thing is when God tells a person they're gonna meet their spouse. They think it will be within the same week. Being impatient, they go out looking and find someone else who wants to marry them. And the person that they find appears to be everything they could have ever imagined. But they're not from God. Months later, the person they married changes face. The person is disrespectful, cheating, far from a family person, and self absorbed. In addition, the person is very rarely home, barely pays a bill, always asking for money. And one day, it just so happens, feeling alone, the other party, that is, goes out and is feeling down on their luck and everything else. And who do they run into? The person that God has for them. But there's a problem. They are attached to the self absorbed spouse. The person they are married to is not looking for a divorce nor signing papers. Why? Because the real reason for them to get married is so they could have a place to sleep, food to eat, shelter. That's the only reason why they got married. So now the person who is feeling alone has a problem. And the problem from a spiritual sense is they did not wait on God. They knew what God had for them, but they felt like God's plan in their head did not match their timing and work for their situation. So they thought. What was the key ingredients they lost? Patience and faith. A lot of times we get the word from God, but we don't see what He said. Hours, days, months. And we get frustrated to the point where we're like, what's the point? We start to doubt God or question, did He really give us a vision, a message? Or we forget what He said and start doing the wrong thing. Meaning He gives us a message, we think it ain't gonna happen, forget all about it, and just start doing our own thing. Like God said, for example, whatever you need is in this book. He tells you all about the book. But you take it upon yourself to go spend money and take a course. Sit in front of your computer and watch this instructor online instead of reading the book. because part of you doubted it's not going to happen, and then you just threw it out your mind. And after the course is finished, you're back to square one and you remember what God said. But it's you done spent $700 on a course that you didn't get nothing out of, as opposed to spending 19.99 plus shipping and handling. Then all of a sudden you decide to do what God told you to do and buy the book. And then you get mad because you realize that everything God was saying was right in that book. All the answers was in the book. My question is, and this is what I say as well to myself a lot of times, who am I mad at? I can't be mad at God, because all we have to do is listen. Last year, I wanted to decorate my living room with some plants. The problem is, I did not have a green thumb. The last plant I had years ago, it died because it needed to be replanted, and I did not know how to do it. I did not look it up to see how it should be done. I just went straight to my sister. Why? Because it was easier. So I went to her because she's a plant lover. And I asked her to replant my plants. And she did. I noticed that she had little cups and tiny vases all over the place. She said she cut a piece of the mother plant and added it to water. And what did I know? I thought every time she said mother plant, she was talking about the fact that our mother gave her a plant and she just called it a mother plant. So once the light bulb switched on one day, I realized what she was talking about, and I went home and I cut a piece of my mother plant and put it in a small container of water. Next thing you know, the plant grew and I bought a vase. I looked on the internet and looked up how to replant and went and bought everything I needed. The lady in the store, she kept explaining things to me over and over again, because I'm not going to lie, I didn't believe I can do it. And she said, "You can do it." And I did. Now I have to replant that same plant all over again because it's growing all over the place. What I want to say is that that voice said, it is not going to work. You spent money on soil or pot for what? I started to get impatient and I was going to give up and wash that whole vase out, throw the little dirt that was in it in the garbage, and give the vase to someone who has, a green thumb or a whole heap of plants. I said, that lady from the store don't know me. I do not have a green thumb. Then I looked and I saw my baby. And I laughed to myself because the plant grew. And for the first time, I was actually engaged in conversations with my sister about plants. Before, I used to be like, too many plants is a health hazard or something. It's dangerous. I just don't know, like, how or why. But yeah, I feel. And I used to joke about it. And when my grandmother years ago gave me a bamboo plant, that one plant, I just thought I was just lucky because it grew so tall. But then eventually it died because it needed to be replanted and I never replanted it. That whole scenario taught me to be patient and have faith. When God gives you a vision, a message, or a dream about whatever, believe it, wait on it, and have faith about it. The message that came to me was timing. I started to really see what God meant about timing because there was a situation that I just was like ready to throw in the towel. And God said timing. and that meant patience and faith. We need to wait on God's timing. God will give us more than what we could ever imagine. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So, what I learned from my situation, which I want to share with you all, stop looking at your life according to where you want your situation to be. Like, I should be here by now, I should have this by now, I should be at this level, because you're looking at your neighbor or you're looking at whoever down the street or what's going on. And start looking at it from God's perspective, that He gave you a promise and He will deliver. Just pray there's no interference from the enemy. Yeah, from the enemy. Times is getting crazy, and we don't want to be in the wrong situations. We don't want to be with the wrong person. We don't want our peace to be violated. We just want to live, be happy, worship God, and be at peace. So keep that in mind. When God gives you a promise and it seems like you waiting forever, continue to wait. Be patient and have faith. Because I know for y'all to listen to my podcast, you all are serious about your peace. And a lot of you all think the way I think. You're not playing with everybody. And the best position is to wait on God. So there you have it. And May 11th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Pacific, I'll be live on YouTube. Join me. And the topic is called Enough is Enough. And that's it for today. Stay blessed.